Begin whenever you're ready.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the first part, which are from pages 88 to 109. And we start with the murder of Mrs. Rogers. And the chapter begins with the blaming of all the characters, blaming themselves, and telling a lot of theories about the murder of Mrs. Rogers. They don't know if she suicide or Mr. Rogers killed her.
The next part of the part that we have to read, it starts in page 91, and it's the talk that Mr. Rogers and Dr. Armstrong have, in which Mr. Rogers tells Dr. Armstrong that weird things are happening around the house, and he specifically tells about the little China figures. He swears to Dr. Armstrong that there were 10 figures when they arrived, and that he saw 9 figures after Anthony was killed, and that now with everything that was happening to his wife, he hadn't noticed, but that now he noticed that they were 8 little China figures. So they are starting to think that there's no coincidence, that something is going on in the house.
Afterwards, we get to part 3, where it's Vera and Emily Brent. They're still talking about the accusations in the recorder, and they're talking about how they think it wasn't a normal death. They think Mrs. Rogers was killed by her husband, and they start talking about the bad murders, following the accusations, and they stop to analyze the Lombard, who killed the African tribe, I believe. And then they get to and then Vera starts questioning Miss Emily Brent about her accusation, and she starts talking about how Beatrice Taylor killed herself and blamed Emily.
In page 98, just as Jorge said, Dr. Armstrong was still curious about his talk with Mr. Rogers, so he goes to Lombard to talk about it, and they start to think about the poem, and they will start to believe that maybe the murderer is living in the island, so they go to Blur to try to convince him to start an investigation.
So in page 105, it starts when they went to see Blur, and they told him about the issue, and he accepted the agreement to investigate what's happening, because Blur knew something was wrong because of the figures and the deaths, so he agreed very fast. And also, when they asked if someone had a gun or something, Lombard had one, and he showed it, and Blur said so you always carry it, and they started a discussion, and that's happened until page 107.
And following that, Blur, Lombard, and Dr. Armstrong decide to make a tour in the island to look for this murderer. And then they found General MacArthur in the island, near the rocks and the water, and he was sitting and watching the horizon. And then they approached to him, and General MacArthur said that they didn't understand what is happening, that he has no time left, and that please go away. And making this connection with the poem said that then one was left behind, and then it was 7, something like that. So this is a connection for the death of General MacArthur, that they leave him in there because he wants to be.
He was left behind.
He was left behind by them, and that's until 109, and that's the end of our part.